Hey guys, Lon from the ECOM Zone here, and in today's video I'm going to talk about my new Facebook ads testing strategy that focuses mainly on testing ad creatives over audiences. So what's the difference? In the past, my strategies and many others focus on testing audiences where we have 10 ad sets with different audiences. However, over the past 2 years, Facebook has been moving away from audiences like interest targeting, and that's why a lot of people tell you to go broad. However, we don't want to go full broad where all your ad sets are just broad with no interest targeting. We're still going to test interest targeting. However, this strategy that we're going to go over in this video today will prioritize testing more creatives instead of audiences. The problem I'm seeing, guys, is that not a lot of you guys are testing enough ad creatives. A lot of you just test free ad creatives and then ask yourself why it's not working. Is it my product? Is it the offering? Is it my website? But it's actually just to do with a lack of ad creatives. So before diving into the ad strategy, we do need to discuss ad creatives because there seems to be a lack of understanding on how to come up with your ad creatives and ad copy. So we're going to decide on angles and messaging, write ad copies and scripts for video creatives, source content, create ad creatives, and the success of your ads depends on your ad creatives and ad copy and not really your strategy. So your sole focus should be improving your content creation and copywriting skills so you can market your products better, not really about improving your Facebook ad strategy. So the first thing we're going to talk about is the angles. So ensure you have a variety of angles and messages to work with. Each ad creative will focus on a specific angle or messaging for your products. And each angle will focus on a specific demographics. So for example, if you're selling a product for gifting, the angle could be about gifting the product and the demographics is about boyfriends gifting to their girlfriend. However, you can have the same angle gifting, but the demographics could be from the parents to the kids. So the angle is similar, but the demographics is different. So they'll actually fall into two different ad creatives. So you want to come up with at least 5 different angles for your products, and over time you should be adding to this and coming up with more angles to test. You want to build personas for your brand/products to help you come up with angles, and you want to read online reviews so that you can understand your audiences better, see what problems it's solving, and if there's no online reviews, then don't worry. Just ask yourself how your product solves your problems, whether that's emotionally and physically, and are there any desires that it fixes, are there any wants and needs, etc. So use ChatGPT with detailed inputs for inspiration on angles. Now I don't know if you can hear that, guys, but it's 9 a.m. here in Osaka and there are builders in this Airbnb. It's so annoying. Every Airbnb we've gone to, there's just been builders. I don't know what's going on. But the next stage is ad creative copywriting. So we got our angles, now it's time to write about them. So once you decide on 5 angles to focus on, you'll need to come up with scripts and ad copies for each angle. Now you need to write 3 different ad copies and scripts for each angle. So this is so you can test different copywriting frameworks, hook variations, and structures for each angle. You can use ChatGPT to help you with copywriting, and you can learn copywriting from copywriting experts, not dropshippers. The thing about dropshippers is that we don't really focus on one skill. We're kind of like a jack of all trades, and that's why you want to learn copywriting from copywriting experts. You can also read a book, Great Leads or Breakthrough Advertising, and a script is only required if you're creating video creatives. So if you're relying on static ads and image ads or carousel ads, then you don't need to write scripts. However, you still need to write 3 different ad copies for each angle so that you can put it on your ads. So the ad copy will display on your ads as primary text, headlines/hooks, and test different lengths of scripts. So one video could be 10 seconds long, another video can be 30 seconds, another one could be 45 seconds. And also test different lengths for your primary text. Some primary text can just be 1 line, some can be 2 lines with a few bullet points, some could be 1 line and 3 bullet points, etc. You want to test different lengths out. You can find inspiration from the Facebook ad library. So if we head over to the Facebook ad library, there's a bunch of companies that we could take a look at, like Shop Fabulov. So you scroll down, you see they got like a 2-line hook, 3 bullet points, and click shop now, and that's what they've been testing. This one's one line hit bullet point here, and then shop now. And if you scroll down, you can see they're testing multiple variations with the ad copy. Same with Malvase here, one-liners. So they're just testing one-liners here, one-liner with 3 bullet points, etc. And you get the point. Pop-ring 2 lines, 4 bullet points. So next, we're going to talk about sourcing content. Because now that we have our ad copy, what about our ad creatives, right? So how to source content for your ad creatives. So the first method is contacting UGC content creators on Fiverr and Upwork. However, this is quite expensive because you do need to pay for them and you do need to send the products out to them. The next method is cheaper. You contact TikTok creators. Hopefully they don't charge you and you can just send them the products. Next, contact Instagram influencers. Now, the difference between the two of these is that TikTok creators are better at creating videos, in my opinion. They're more authentic and natural, whereas Instagram influencers are better for like static images. Next is filming yourself, so sending the samples to yourself and then filming the products yourself, or asking a family or friend. So sending samples to your friends may work too. Downloading videos from online, which I do not recommend because Facebook doesn't really like this. Next, you can download images from different websites like AliExpress or Google, etc., or Pinterest. And this sometimes works if the photos are professional. If they're not, then you're going to have to take your own photos or send it to a photographer or send it to influencers, etc. You can also look into AI tools like Midjourney, ChatGPT 4.0 or Photo Room to create your photos. And avoid using services that create ads for you, like viral ECOM ads and websites like that. I tend to not like them because they just rip content off other people and then they simply slap those videos together and send that to you. So avoid those. So now that you source your content for your ads, it's time to produce them. So what type of creatives can you create? So the first type of ads is static ads, which is simple. You could create them on Canva or Photoshop. Next is carousel ads. This is simply just uploading images to Facebook and they'll create a carousel for you. Next is founder ads. So it's actually you talking to the camera about your products. Very simple one-take shot ads, and you can include B-roll shots in them. If you don't know what B-roll shots are, just Google it. It's basically just videos of your products. Next is UGC ads, so contacting those UGC content creators and making those video ads. Unboxing ads, so just simply taking your products out of the box and talking about the products. Next is B-roll ads, UGC plus B-roll ads, one-take ads where you ask like TikTok creators or even yourself or your friends where they literally just film a video and there's no cuts in it. It's very authentic and natural and they just talk about the product. They could do an unboxing, etc. Next is fast-paced videos where you have a background music and it's just quick snappy clips of your products. And next is lifestyle v studio shot ads. So there are a bunch of creatives that you can test, and if you're only testing like 1 or 2 of these, look how many different creatives you can test out, guys. So do experiment with them and see what works for your products. You could also test out AI vs human voice vs no voice on your videos, because that does make a difference. Even testing out genders, race, ages, etc., they all make a difference. So let's actually talk about the Facebook ad strategy. So this is for anyone creating their first Facebook ad campaign or anyone who's actually run ads before but they're still stuck on the testing phase. So I prefer to split my campaigns up by product categories. So let's just say you're selling jewelry products, you got earrings, bracelets and necklaces. You can split them up into 3 different campaigns and start with small budgets due to spending limits on new accounts. Now, if you don't have a new account and you can actually spend as much as you like and you got the budget to do so, then you can up the budgets. You want to always create a sales campaign optimized for purchases only. You want to target countries that your suppliers can ship to. Now, just because I say I'm shipping to US, UK, Canada, doesn't mean that you can too. You actually need to check with your suppliers and see if they ship to these countries. So I target the US, UK, Canada, Australia, and 3 countries in the EU. You'll be creating 2 ad sets per angle with 3 ads in each one. So in each campaign, you have 2 ad sets per angle, and in each ad set, there are 3 ads. Now, if you have 5 angles, that means you'll have a total of 10 different ad sets, because each angle will have 2 ad sets, right? So 5 times 2 is 10. This strategy focuses on aggressively testing your angles and messaging instead of testing different interests and audiences. So this is what it would look like. You have your ABO campaign, you've set your budget at ad set level, and one ad set will be broad and the other ad set will be interest targeting. Now you got ad creative A1 and 1, ad creative A1 and 2, ad creative A1 3. And this set of ads will be the same as this set of ads. So this is just one angle here with 2 ad sets and 3 ads. And also the budget per ad set is around $5 to $10. Next is optimizing. So let your ads run for 48 hours before you touch them. After 48 hours, you can make a decision whether you should kill or keep the ad running. So aim for these metrics when you're testing your ads. When at the beginning, you're not looking for sales, you're actually trying to optimize your funnel so that you can make sales. So your CPM varies depending on the industry. So some industries, your CPM could be like $80. Sometimes it's 10, sometimes it's 20. It doesn't really matter. It just depends on your industry. So your CTR should be above 2.5%, and your CPC, which is your cost per click, should be below $1 if your average order value is around $50. Now let's just say your average order value is around $100, then you can aim for a cost per click below $2. Remember guys, if your cost per click is $2, that means for every 100 visitors to your website, it will cost you $200. So you still need to make a lot of sales to cover that ad cost. And that's why this is just a target that you want to aim for, but you really want to aim for even lower. So with a $50 average order value, your cost per click should really be around 50 cents. So if you have a low CTR, you need to improve your ad creatives and your messaging. If you have a high CPM, it's maybe because you're in an expensive industry like beauty, niche, or the interest you're targeting is too small. If you have a high CPC, then you just have poor performing ad creatives and you need to work on your ad creatives. And if your average watch time is less than 5 seconds, then you need to improve your visual hook and your script. So phase 1, analyzing. So once you have killed underperforming ads after 48 hours, you want to analyze why it underperformed, and you take notes of what the issues were so you don't repeat the same mistakes in the future. You want to analyze performing ads as well and ask yourself why it performed. If one ad set performs but another ad set didn't, then it may be due to the interest targeting or just because Facebook on those 2 days weren't that great for that ad set. If you end up killing all your ad sets and your ads, then you need to go back to the drawing board and test more creatives and optimize the funnel. So still on phase 1, waiting for your first sale because we haven't actually made any yet. So you should only let ads run if your cost per click is below $1. If after 72 hours your ads do not have any add to carts, then you should kill your ads and improve your landing pages. Because people are clicking over to your website but they're not adding to cart, so there's definitely a problem with your landing pages, whether that's your product page or you're sending them to a landing page. And if after 72 hours you have ads with low CPC and add to cart rates, then you can leave them running for another 2 days. If after 5 days now you do not get a sale from your ads, then you need to analyze your ads and your product pages. This is where you really need to drill into your data and understand where the issues are and what could be causing a lack of sales. Unfortunately, I can't really put that down in the video, and that's why I do offer calls, because I need to actually look at your metrics and identify where the problems are so that I could give you a solution. Every scenario is different, and so that's why I don't actually have videos on that. It could be down to your website, your offer, your product choice, shipping settings, pricing, product saturation, ad creatives, ad copy, market, etc. So next part is actually scaling. So when can you move on to this phase? So once you have found a winning creative or winning interest, and once you have optimized your landing page and your funnel, you do not want to move to phase 2 if you don't have a winning ad creative or product. So what determines a winning ad? You have more than 5 purchases per ad set or ad, and your cost per click is lower than $1 if your average order value is around $50. If your cost per click is around $2 and your average order value is around $100, that's fine. CPA is below your break-even CPA. And also one thing about break-even CPA, if it's around $20, that's not too bad, but if it's around like $10, it's actually just too low. It's actually very hard to scale your ads if your break-even CPA is a low figure. You ideally want your break-even CPA around $30 or more. And also your ROAS should be above break-even ROAS when you're scaling. So what determines an optimized funnel? So your add to cart rate is above 4%, your checkout initiated is above 2%, and your purchases is above 1%. So there's 2 ways to scale. You scale horizontally, which involves you duplicating winning ad sets. So what are the benefits of duplicating ad sets? You could duplicate ad sets and test new interests, and you could tweak the ads a little when you duplicate the ad set, so you could test more ads. You could duplicate as many times as you want. It all just comes down to your budget and your cash flow. So after you duplicate ads, these new ad sets will go through testing phase again. So it'll go through phase 1 and you go through those steps. So you wait 48 hours and you see the cost per clicks, the add to cart rates, etc. Next is scaling vertically. And this is simply you increasing the budgets of winning ad sets over time. So what should you do if your ad set continues to perform well? You continue to increase your budget by 10 to 50% every 2+ days. And this depends on your ROAS. If your ROAS is very high, is above break-even ROAS by a mile, then you can increase your budget by 50%. Now, if you're only slightly over break-even point, then you only really want to increase budgets by 10 to 20%. So what should you do if your ad set stops performing after you've increased the budget? Well, you want to reduce your budget back down to the previous budget and wait 2 days. And if your ad set still doesn't perform, then reduce it again and wait 2 days again. Now, if your ad set still doesn't perform, I recommend killing it and then duplicating it again. Sometimes ads won't scale well because Facebook is just like that. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. So phase 3, scaling with CBOs. So CBO stands for Campaign Budget Optimization, where you'll set the budget at campaign level, and it gives Facebook more control as they assign ad spends to ad sets. So I would recommend starting with budgets of $50 per CBO campaign, and starting budgets ultimately depends on your cash flow and capital. Use the manual setup and not Advantage Plus shopping campaign setup if you still have that. So let your campaign run for 2 days before making any changes. So just like phase 1, leave it for 48 hours before killing it or keeping it. Switch off any underperforming ad sets and ads, and if no ad sets remain, then switch off the campaign entirely and create another CBO. If one ad set remains, then duplicate the ad set and test a similar interest or broad, or you could tweak the ads a little. I recommend CBOs have 3 to 5 ad sets depending on the budgets, and the ad sets that sits in these CBOs will be the winning ad sets from your ABO campaign. So whilst scaling your ads, you should always be testing new creatives and new interests in your ABO campaign. And once you find new winning ads in the ABO campaign from the phase 1, you can scale them in your new CBO campaigns. So this phase 3, you can have multiple CBOs derived from your ABO campaigns. So final pointers: after you figure out your winning formula, you want to give your ads more time to learn, preferably 5 to 7 days instead of 2 to 3 days. Do not listen to Facebook recommendations on combining ad sets. They're totally wrong, and just ignore them. Make sure to add other admins to your business manager and ad account to avoid getting locked out of your account. And this can be anyone you trust, whether that's your family, your girlfriend, or close friends. Ignore all scam messages and emails, and avoid clicking on any link sent to your email or Facebook Messenger. If someone's giving you a warning about like your Facebook's been hacked, then you should go to Facebook ads directly. Running ads is all about testing your ad creatives and seeing what works for yourself. And just because something worked for me or others does not mean it'll work for you. Each product, each ad account is different. And your focus should be on creating new ad creatives and coming up with new angles for your ad copy and scripts, and not really the Facebook ad strategy. And anyways guys, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed that video. Hopefully this ad strategy works for you, because it does work for me and also my other subscribers. So yeah, if you found this video valuable, please smash that like button, subscribe to my channel for more content, and peace.